Story 1. The Walk Behind the Pines. Graver Hollow National Park. Same, same strange woods, a different nightmare. Miles Dunn was a wildlife acoustic researcher. His specialty? Recording vocalizations from animals most folks never hear. Owls, lynx, and once he claimed wolves that sang harmonious. His methods were solitary and immersive. Hike deep, hike deep, deploy sound traps, and wait. Craver Hollow was his latest assignment. The North Quadrant, of course. The one even rangers avoided. He scoffed at their warnings. Places like this exaggerate their legends, he said. Besides, Sasquatch isn't real. He pitched camp near Dagger Lake, surrounded by towering pines, with bark blanket from wildfires. His gear was high-end: audio sensors, motion cameras, vibrant monitors. At sunset he began hearing things: a distant knock, like a bat against wood, and three more. He noted the pattern. Possibly woodpeckers, he mumbled, even though the timing was too rhythmic. He scanned the tree line. Nothing. The air grew heavy. Not cold, but heavy. That night his audio captured vocalizations, deep, guttural moans, with an unsettling cadence. Something massive was breathing near the microphone. At 2:37 a.m., a figure appeared on his motion cam, just for 2 seconds. It was tall, unbelievably tall, covered in thick, patchy fur, shoulders like boulders. It didn't walk, it loped, silently, no footsteps. Miles froze, rewinding the footage again and again. Could it be a bear? He whispered, but his voice betrayed uncertainty. The next day he hiked toward the spot to recover the device. Found the sensor smashed, twisted metal, casing shredded. Nearby trees had markings, scratches in a pattern. 3 vertical slashes, then one horizontal. He felt watched. Birds didn't chirp. Even the insects were silent. That night the knocking returned closer. Then came the howls. Not woof, not like it was. Something deeper, like a throat built from echo. At 3:09 a.m., his tent began to shake. He unzipped it slowly, flashlight trembling. Light scanned the trees, but there was nothing. But then, eyes, 6 feet above the ground, reflective, unblinking. Miles whispered, "Hello?" and instantly regretted it. From the darkness came movement. Branches bent outward. A shape emerged, not sprinting, gliding silently like a breeze carved in bone and muscle. He turned and ran. The forest didn't stay still. Paths changed. Trees moved, or he imagined they did. Behind him, thudding footsteps matched his panic. He had beneath he hid beneath a collapsing log. Heart hammering. From above something sniffed, loud, wet. Then came a second sound, a language. It wasn't growling. It was speech. Low, whispered syllables, repeating like an ancient tongue. Then silence. He waited. He waited until sunrise to crawl out. His camp was gone, equipment missing, tent shredded. The only thing untouched, his laptop, blinking with a new audio file. He played it. There was knocking, breathing, and distorted voices saying, "We see you." Miles was distracted 2 days later, wandering near the edge with twigs braided in his hair. He refused to talk about it. But the forest had changed. Now hikers reported seeing a massive footprints, That vanished mid-stride, and the Rangers, they said knocking had begun again. Always 3 knocks, then one more. Story 2. Echoes beneath Sandrift Mesa, where the wind speaks in riddles and something else listens. Dr. Lynn Clatter was a geophysician with a penchant for desolate places. She believed silence told stories, and Sandrift Mesa, an ancient butte deep in New Mexico's Chihuahuan desert, had been whispering for centuries. Locals warned her, "Don't camp near the mesa. After dark, it hums." Lena dismissed the talk as superstition. She wanted data, not folklore. She arrived with seismic sensors, drones, and a solar array for her tent lab. The mesa loomed ahead, layers of rock glowing red under the sun. Its flat summit stained black from lightning strikes that seemed to be frequent. By day, Lena mapped the terrain. Something was off. Compass needles jittered around the mesa. Audio equipment recorded faint tones not heard with the naked ear. Tonal patterns like chatting layered with wind and grit. She made notes. Could be natural resonance, possibly volcanic activity. The sun sank, and the humming started. Low, like machinery buried miles underground. It pulsed every 12 seconds. At 1:06 a.m., Lena awoke to vibrations, mild, rhythmic. She opened her laptop. One seismic node was registering vertical movement beneath the mesa. She analyzed the waveforms, not tectonic. Then a voice, deep in the audio spectrum, unmistakable, whispered her words she didn't recognize. Philip. She replayed it, slowed it, and repeated layered over the hum. Suddenly her drone feed went dark. She left one circling the mesa. She rebooted the signal and watched something towering past beneath it, large, wide, but indistinct like a heat shimmer. She froze. A large bird? She typed. Maybe a dust devil? But inside she knew better. Dawn revealed strange grooves in the sand around her equipment, spiraling patterns that hadn't been there before. Her tent's guidelines were snapped. Her boots had been moved, placed neatly by the fire pit she'd never used. One one day, too, she climbed the mesa. The higher she got, the quieter the desert became. Wind ceased. No insects. The rocks themselves felt warm. She reached the summit and found a large depression, smooth, unnatural shaped. At its center, a stone obelisk, half buried, covered in symbols she didn't recognize. Lena took photos, then touched the stone. It vibrated. Her sensors pinged, the humming surged, then cut to silence. Then came footsteps, not hers. She turned, nothing, but the sand around her shifted like something invisible moved just below the surface. Panicking, she scrambled down, scraping her palms. Her radio crackled with static, and then, flack, waves. She fled her tent. That night her equipment recorded movement underground, large shapes displacing sand, not tunneling, surfacing. At 3:42 a.m., her audio sensors picked up screeching, like something was tracing symbols in stone. At 3:42 a.m., her audio sensors picked up scratching, like something was tracing symbols in stone. Then the humming returned, much louder, painfully loud. She opened her eyes. Outside her tent, shadows stood, tall, bent-shaped, not animals, but not human either. She didn't breathe. One stepped forward, then turned, and vanished into the sand. By sunrise, the stone obelisk on the mesa was gone, and in its place a spiral, carved in basalt. Her equipment was untouched, but her recordings had been altered, not containing whispers in languages no linguist could identify. She left Sandrift the next day, but now every recording she makes, every audio file contains the hum, and sometimes a voice beneath it, repeating black weights. Story 3. The Vault at Echo Station. Some broadcasts never stop. Some should have never started. In 1982, Echo Station was officially closed, an underground research facility built in the permafrost near Burrow, Alaska. Its purpose had been long classified. Rumors spread experiments with sonar weaponry, interdimensional signal, reality modulation. All the files were sealed. Until now. Dr. Marla Singh was granted rare access under a private research grant focused on retroacoustic engineering. She'd come home to study the residual audio anomalies still leaked from the site. At a steady 7.1 hertz the hum was known locally as the Burrow Pulse. Marla arrived with her assistant, Danny, and a small convoy of gear. The entrance was buried under snowdrifts, marked only by a rusted hatch and a frozen keypad. Once inside, the air felt wrong. The facility was intact but lifeless. Walls lined with outdated servers, reel-to-reel tapes, strange antennae, twisted like veins. At the center of the vault, a lead-lined chamber, housing the main transmitter, long dormant, or so they thought. The first night Marla began logging the hum, but at 3:12 a.m. it changed, layered with faint whispers. She isolated the feed, slowed it, enhanced it. Words emerged, foreign, old, then English. Station acquired. Time collapsed. Channel open. Danny thought it was leftover loops. Then they found the broadcast. Didn't repeat. They responded. On day 2, Marla entered the vault. Inside, the control panels lit up spontaneously. A waveform appeared on the oscilloscope, triangular, erratic, but undeniably artificial. She touched the panel. Lights dimmed. A sharp tone pierced the silence, followed by a sudden temperature drop. Frost formed instantly on her gloves. From the speaker came a voice, not human. Not in how it moved, not in how it paused. You hear us? Now see us. Behind her, the far wall shimmered, a ripple as if reality itself warped for a second. Then Danny screamed from the hallway. Marla ran out to find him staring at the monitors. Live feed. Camera 4, deep storage. A figure stood, tall, impossibly thin, limbs elongated past proportion. Its head crowed with antennas, twitching. It didn't move, but vibrated. Then the camera feed glitched and cut. Danny insisted they leave, but Marla refused. She was hooked. The hum changed nightly. Voices recounted events that hadn't happened, earthquakes, meteor strikes, political assassinations. Every detail would come true 3 days later. The vault, it seemed, wasn't receiving transmissions. It was pulling them forward. Time wasn't linear here. Marla left the facility once, returned with a mirror-coated drone to explore Section 9, restricted sealed since '82. The drone revealed walls etched with spiral glyphs. In one room, bodies preserved in frozen stasis, mouths open, ears wired to speakers. Danny begged her to shut it down. Instead, she fed the machine a question. What happens to us? The reply was delayed, then clear. Red frost, air inversion, no exit. That night, Marla dreamed in reverse, memories unwinding, snow melting upward. Danny left. She hasn't. Now researchers reviewing her logs say the broadcast continued, even though Echo Station transmitters offline. And sometimes at 3:12 a.m., a tone cuts through the silence at Boreal Pulse, followed by station acquired, channel opened. Thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe.